commemorating his 200th career NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour start. And what a career it has been for Justin Bonsignore. 36 victories, fourth in the all-time win list in the modern era, and a three-time series champion. Series director Jimmy Wilson presenting the plaque to Justin Bonsignore earlier this afternoon here at Wall Stadium. And he said, you know what, I want to race into my 50s and race long into my career like guys like Mike Stefanik, Ted Christopher, and others who have gone before me. And he has already certainly made a name for himself in modified competition. Well, while the field begins to roll, let's take a look at some of the starters in today's 150-lap Jersey Shore 150. On the pole, as mentioned, Austin Beers, his third career pole, third this season. Matt Hirschman will start on the outside, a two-time winner this season. Jimmy Blewett in the 76, his second start this year, and defending race winner. And Justin Bonsignore making his 200th start. Eddie McCarthy starts fifth tonight, one of the local favorites, alongside Doug Covey, a six-time champion. Go back outside the top 10. Jake Johnson will start 10th. Ronnie Silk, the point leader, rolling off 11th tonight. Kyle Bonsignore, he'll start 12th with 5 consecutive top 10 finishes. He's looking to keep that streak going. Tom Martino Jr. will make his debut in the Whelen Modified Tour tonight. Starts 13th, along with local drivers Blake Barney, 15th, and Tyler Ripkema making his wall debut in 17th. The rest of the starters tonight, Ken Hagee, 21st, Tommy Wanek making his debut, and Melissa Fifield, your 23rd starter on the field here tonight. 2 laps to go before we get the green flag as Bob Slade and Sean Houlihan working the flag stand tonight for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Take a look at some of the keys to the race tonight. Think fast. 12-second laps around this racetrack. Keep an eye on turn 2. There's a bit of a bump on that section of the track, and it can get away from you pretty quickly. And be aggressive. This is New Jersey. You've got to be New Jersey tough here tonight if you want to wrestle one of these modifieds around this small racetrack. Weather tonight, 72 degrees, overcast skies, and as you can see, a packed house ready to watch Whelen Modified Tour action. The biggest event of the season here at Wall Stadium happening right now. Everybody has showed up. They left the beach, they left the boardwalk to watch this. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and we are ready to turn them loose. The young Austin Beers in the 64 will get them going here tonight, and we are underway in the Jersey Shore 150 at Wall Stadium. Lay out for the opening lap. I'll pick it up when they come around. Austin Beers leads lap 1. He's able to clear Matt Hirschman and Jimmy Blewett, who run second and third behind him. Battles a bit deeper in the field. Eric Goodale trying to find room down to the inside of Doug Covey in the 7 York. Goodale in the 58 was the fastest car in final practice earlier today. And Goodale on the move early here to the bottom as they work the inside lane. The fast way around this racetrack is all the way at the bottom. And that's where successful drivers like Jimmy Blewett and others have been able to make it work easily on the inside lane. And that's what we look for as the race goes on. But at times, that middle groove can come into play. That may be a factor too. Battle for second. Matt Hirschman in the 60 has had a tremendous amount of success at this racetrack in open modified shows, being challenged by Jimmy Blewett in the 76. That's a Tommy Baldwin prepared race car just to the left of your frame. Bottom half of the top 5 now. Andrew Krause in the 24 trying to make a move. We told you the action was going to be here tonight, and it is that. Plenty of places to look to find a great battle on the track. There's Krause in the 24 car, working underneath Anthony Cecily in the number 19 car. Cecily is a 2-time track champion here in the number 19, one of the local drivers that joined the Modified Tour full-time this season. And Ronnie Silk, the championship point leader in the 16, able to sneak underneath and pick up the position. That'll move Silk into the 9th position. Surprising earlier today to see Silk start outside the top 10. But he's quickly on the move, having a great season. And we'll talk more about that later and how it compares to his 2011 championship season. The first time he won a Whelen Modified Tour round. Dave Zappienza going to work on Blake Barney in the 14. This is a battle for 12th. Back up front, Austin Beers with a decent advantage. over Matt Hirschman in the 60 and Jimmy Blewett right behind in the 76 New York. I mentioned that a year ago, he's defending race winner. He drove for Tommy Baldwin Racing last year. Remember, there was 3 different drivers between Doug Covey, Jimmy Blewett, and Mike Christopher that drove this 7 New York. Today, Jimmy Blewett in a prepared car by Tommy Baldwin, 76 on track. Familiar family number for this team. Certainly not the red, white, and blue that the Blewett family has run for many years and has really dominated this racetrack and has been the favorites here in New Jersey. So Blewett sitting there in 3rd, and you know, the win that he had a year ago, he was able to take that victory on a late race restart. So riding there in 3rd, still pretty good position for him. Good look at Justin Bonsignore in the 51. Pretty incredible accomplishments that Bonsignore has had in his 200 career starts. 4th on the all-time win list since 1985 in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, the modern era. 3-time champion. There's 36 wins to go with it. Has had an outstanding career. Successful businessman as well, and hopes to continue that momentum here tonight solidly. First 18 laps of this race, sitting in the 4th position. Hirschman has been able to hold Jimmy Blewett at bay. He has not been able to find a way around, has Jimmy Blewett. You can see him running a little bit lower through turns 1 and 2, and that's Jimmy's style. You talk about 2 different drivers that have a different style. Those 2, Matt Hirschman, easy on the throttle, babies a car around the racetrack. Jimmy Blewett, Showtime, known for being aggressive. And a guy that gets up on the steering wheel, but they've got their styles working with a 2nd and 3rd place run at the moment. We continue to watch this great battle here between Eric Goodale, 7 New York of Doug Covey, and the 24 of Andrew Krause. Krause himself, in the 24, his family operates the racetrack. This is Kremley. Very much involved in the day-to-day operations here at Wall Stadium. One of the reasons why he doesn't run all the Whelen Modified Tour races is because when there's a race on Saturday, he's here with his family, with this operation, and running his car. That 24 car looks good. A 2-time track champion in his own right, just like Anthony Cecily. He led 70 laps here a year ago to a 4th place finish. This is one of those tracks with the experience that he has here. Knows he's got it circled on the calendar and is one that he's going to be aggressive at. Doug Covey directly ahead of him. Did not race here last year because this was one of the cars and one of the races that he was not scheduled to be in. That's Jimmy Blewett was in the 7 New York, as we talked about. And Covey sat back at home and watched this race play out before all of us on Flow Racing. And he said he learned a lot when he had the opportunity to do that. Caution is out on the speedway for the first time here today. 26 laps complete. Austin Beers out in front, and it is the 8 car that has gone around. Thomas Martino Jr., son of Tom Martino, engine builder, former NHRA Pro Stock race winner, and one of the best engine builders in short track racing. And Thomas Martino Jr. out on track brings out our first caution here. 26 laps into the Jersey Shore 150. Austin Beers showing the way. He's led from the drop of the green flag so far today, and that's a team that, man, they are racing with heavy hearts here today. Earlier this week, one of their crew members passed in a car accident. 19-year-old Nate Appel Jr. He just started joining the team at the race shop last season. Came to the track this year. Spent some time working with the team, and the team tonight, the 64, Austin Beers, Mike Murphy, that entire team racing in honor of Nate here this evening. Was able to get to pole, leading the opening couple of laps. Hasn't looked back yet. And we'll see how Austin Beers can do and see if he can grab his second victory from the pole here this season. Cars pulling up along the outside lane to pit, among them 22 car. of Kyle Bonsignor. Bonsignor started 12th here tonight. And McDermott in that team, obviously not happy with the handling on that race car, and they'll go ahead and make some adjustments there to that machine before they send it back out. Also pulling out of line is a 76 of Jimmy Blewett. So Jimmy Blewett giving up the third position to make his way back off turn number 3 into the pit area. This is a no change race here tonight. So the tires that they qualified on will be the tires that they've got to run 150 laps on this evening, unless they get a caution or unless they get a flat tire. And NASCAR allows them to change into another tire. But Jimmy Blewett heading back and peeling back into the pit area. So that's kind of interesting. See what his strategy is here. A lot of cars on track, but must feel like he doesn't have exactly what he's looking for in his race car if he's going to pull off here under this caution period and make his way down the pit lane. This area here in New Jersey, certainly a hotbed of modified competition, but it's only the 6th time in history that the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour has raced here. And what a racetrack this is. I mean, you can see from this camera angle here atop the flag stand, it's a 1/3 mile, 32 degrees of banking in the turns. And in talking to some of the drivers leading up to this race, they will tell you that when you get off this racetrack, especially in practice, and then have to communicate to your crew chief what it is that you need in your race car, you really have to pause and collect yourself and think about what you felt, what you experienced in a way that you don't have to do at other racetracks. And that's because this racetrack is so intense and is so fast that there's not a lot of time to think. It's more about react. And that's what the drivers will try to do here tonight. We're getting ready for the restart. Austin Beers has led the entire way from the pole. He's on the bottom in the 64 car and fires first. We're back underway here in the Jersey Shore 150. Justin Bonsignor has pulled down to the inside lane of Matt Hirschman to challenge for the runner-up spot. A little bit of contact there on the front straightaway. And Hirschman holds on. Bonsignor has to settle for 3rd at the moment. Doug Kobe 4th. And 5th is Eric Goodale. Great side-by-side action deeper in the field. Nestle sideways and out of shape there in turns 3 and 4. The 20 is Eddie McCarthy. One of the other local drivers here. Joined us for a couple of races already this season as a part-time runner on the Whelen Modified Tour. And the caution is back out for the 2nd time here tonight. You can tell how racy they were getting a moment ago. 37 laps in. Caution waves once again. This time it's Melissa Fifield who has spun to the inside of turns 3 and 4, while Austin Beers continues to show the way in the Jersey Shore 150. We'll see if Melissa can get that car refired once again. That car rolling, you see it about ready to come to life. As the field rolls by, so the exhaust flicker there for a moment. And Melissa has that car rolling. Take a look at Doug Kobe if we can. Relay that to Tim, please. Have Tim look at Doug Kobe, 4th. So working under the caution period, Austin Beers, Matt Hirschman, Justin Bonsignor, your top 3. Doug Kobe, a 6-time Whelen Modified Tour champion, sitting there in the 4th spot. And it seems like no matter what racetrack you go to, Doug Kobe has been victorious. Well, Kobe has not won a race here. This is one of the tracks that he would love to be able to cross off his bucket list. As a kid, Kobe used to come here and race at the Little Wall, the quarter midget track, just down the road, and race here growing up with guys that we've been talking about already, champions here, Anthony Cecily. They would come down here and race together as children. He said, this was a track that I always want to be successful at. And it's because of just growing up. It's a bit of a homecoming for us. and that means a lot to this driver. It's super fun, it's super fast, and it's his style of racetrack. And you know, they've got a big race here that they run around Thanksgiving called the Turkey Derby, and Doug Coby has been quick in that race. He's led laps there, but he has never won in any type of car on this 1/3 mile racetrack, and that's what Doug Coby is aiming to do here tonight with his crew chief Tommy Baldwin Jr. as they get ready to get back underway here. So Coby off to a pretty good start in the 4th position, but certainly one that's on their bucket list. And you look through where this team is on the championship chase. They've had really solid races, but they've had a couple of challenges that Coby said are self-induced. An oil line that loosened up in the Richmond race cost him finishes late, and a rear-end gear change that put him 2 laps down before even starting the first Riverhead race of the season. Without those 2 things, Doug Coby feels very confident about his hopes as the season goes on towards the championship, just getting up to the halfway point. Austin Beers on the bottom, Matt Hirschman to the outside lane as we get set to turn him loose one more time. An even start this time by, but Austin Beers able to clear Matt Hirschman, and that puts Justin Bonsignore down the inside lane. Pokes the nose of that 51 out in front and takes over the runner-up spot in turn 3. Bonsignore to 2nd. Matt Hirschman back to 3rd. And now Coby trying to cut underneath off turn 2, can't do it. But on the outside lane behind them, Ron Silk, who started 11th, has just gotten by Eric Goodale, and that's going to be good enough to move it inside the top 5 for the first time tonight. Good move to the outside there for Ron Silk. Championship point leader Phil Moran, who turns the wrenches for the Hate You Know in a race team, that 16 car. 2nd season together, and it is all gelled in the 2023 season for them. Bonsignore very close to the front stretch wall. Right sides of that number 51. And Coby all over the back bumper of Matt Hirschman, trying to find a lane to the inside a couple of times now. Off turn number 2, you see him running right down to the bottom of those left side tires. Right where that 32-degree banking begins to flatten out a bit. Beers continues to show the way as he'll see 50 laps complete the next time he comes across the start-finish line. Still a long way to go and a lot of things that can happen here tonight. Hirschman putting the pressure in the 60 on the 51 of Justin Bonsignore. Riding in 2nd. Bonsignore slips up a bit and turns 1 and 2. That time Hirschman wasn't there to take advantage, and looks like Justin able to open up that advantage by going up to that middle group. Trying something a little bit different than the cars behind him, and it's starting to work. We'll see if anybody else moves up there and follows in suit. Get a good look through the field. See Silk starting to walk up a little bit higher. Here comes Coby, working down to the inside of Matt Hirschman in the battle for 3rd, and Hirschman goes around in turn 3. 3rd caution of the night, and it happened between Doug Coby and Matt Hirschman, racing for the 3rd spot, 54 laps in, and Matt Hirschman gets spun in the middle of turns 3 and 4. No contact to another car of the wall after he was spinning. I'll have to see if there was contact when we get a look at the replay. So Hirschman goes around out of the 3rd position. Let's see what happened. Coby down to the bottom, Hirschman there, and well, it's hard to tell from that angle whether or not the 2 came together. You see McCarthy in the 20, he got spun after the fact as well. Dave Zapienza stopped. Hirschman already around on that look as his car goes spinning. Everybody stacked up behind him. But Matt Hirschman now to the back of the field. And while we talk about Matt Hirschman under this caution, we had a lot of promise today that we talked about with Jimmy Blewett. And Jimmy went out pit road under that first caution period, and he is now sitting last in scoring 7 laps down. Here's another look at it. Into the turn. Right there. Contact made. Kobe a little low getting at the entrance of the turn. You see the modified bounce just a touch. And the 60 car of Matt Hirschman goes spinning. One more time. Watch the left front of Kobe. Right on the flat. It unsettles the race car as he came up the hill. And there just wasn't enough room at that point. And that sends Hirschman around. And that certainly makes things pretty interesting. Now Hirschman pointing in the wrong direction. Third caution of the night. And Matt Hirschman. Going to be fun to watch to see whether or not he's got a race car that can slice and dice through traffic. It just got a whole lot harder for Matt Hirschman. And it wasn't a couple of races ago when we were racing at the Seekonk Speedway in Massachusetts where Matt Hirschman dominated the event, led every lap. The race before that, Lee USA Speedway in New Hampshire, dominated that event. Now Matt Hirschman going to have to dominate his way through the field here as timing and scoring shows us at the moment being shown in the 17th position. And we'll have a lot of work to do to catch Austin Beers, who's been laying down some lightning quick laps as the race is going on. Take a quick look at the rundown for you. Austin Beers a leader, Justin Bonsignor second, Doug Kobe, Ronnie Silk, Eric Goodale, that's your top 5. Andrew Kraus was strong early, has settled into a 6th place position. Eddie McCarthy sitting 7th, Anthony Sesley and Anthony Nocella 9th, Dave Zapienza 10th as we get ready to go. Anthony Nocella in the 46 car tonight is a driver who just got named to drive that car through the rest of the season, replacing Justin Brown after the Riverhead race coming into today. So the 46 car of Anthony Nocella, who had been running his family car when he had the opportunity to do it, but wasn't going to run full time as they dealt with the family business and all the responsibilities that came with it. But when the chance came to be able to jump in this 46 car as Justin Brown and Goody Motorsports parted ways, it was a great opportunity for the 46 of Anthony Nocella. And next week we go to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that's where Anthony Nocella won his first Whelen Modified Tour race a year ago last July. So some momentum possibly for that team to build on the success that they had a year ago. Granted, it was with the number 92 for Anthony Nocella, their team car. Nocella currently running in the 10th position and doesn't have a lot of experience at this racetrack, but he's done pretty good. Started 19th, one of the big movers in the race today. We were about ready to go under the green once again, but a bit of debris was spotted to the inside of turns 1 and 2, so they've sent the safety vehicles at the track out to explore that and make sure that they've got it all cleaned up down there at the bottom of turns 1 and 2 before we turn them loose one more time. Bob Slade will give him the 1 to go signal from atop the flag stand. When they get the green flag this time, there'll be 62 laps complete in the Jersey Shore 150 here at the Wall Stadium in New Jersey. Austin Beers has led every lap from the pole, but he's got a new challenger to the outside, and it's Justin Bonsignor in the 51 car. And Bonsignor able to stay even this time with Austin Beers as they head for turn 2. Good launch off turn 2, and Justin Bonsignor, for the first time today, is able to bypass the 64 of Austin Beers, and we've got a new leader. Look who's coming right along with him. The outside lane tonight for Ronnie Silk has been working well, picking up a few spots on every restart and putting himself in position. Silk up to 3rd in the 16 car, that silver machine. You saw that bump off turn 2 that time as all the modifieds danced down the back straightaway. It's a little tricky, especially as tires begin to fade at that part of the track. Eric Goodale on the 58 and the 24 of Andrew Kraus. Back up front, Justin Bonsignor not able to pull away like Austin Beers was as he led the early 3rd of this event. And He is protecting the bottom as Justin Bonsignor, but Beers give a little tap to the back bumper, and that is Austin Beers being a bit more aggressive than we have seen in the past. Beers looking high in turn 2. Bonsignor slams the door shut as they get back into 3. As Beers opens the outside lane, Ronnie Silk tries to work the bottom. Can't keep it underneath him, and Beers will continue to run that outside lane. You almost see that mark that's been all rubbered up in the middle groove of the racetrack. And Beers is trying to use that. Diamonds a turn off turn number 2. Doesn't quite have the run this time. Chrome horn to the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor as they come across the line. Great action for the lead. The top 5 cars, 6 cars make it nose to tail through turns 3 and 4. And Justin Bonsignor showing the way. One slip up, and Bonsignor can go from first outside the top 5, and there is Austin Beers. They rub Nerf bars off turn 4 to the inside lane. Beers going for the race lead. Drives Bonsignor up the hill through turns 1 and 2. And Austin Beers back out in front. Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor now out into sparks fly. You go back to the Riverhead race, the first one, and those two went at it. Silk and Bonsignor, and Silk just shoved Bonsignor up the racetrack. That one mistake, that one opportunity, that one bump, you can't even call it a mistake. That one bump, short track, action at its best in open wheel competition from first to fourth, and Austin Beers back out in front. Just past the halfway point. There you see Anthony Cecily picking up some spots, now into 7th. He also had a very good start. Was able to pick up a few on that last restart to move into 7th. And some of the drivers who know this racetrack well are starting to show speed, including Andrew Kraus. Kraus in the 24 car. He's been picking his way through traffic. He slid back a bit early in the race. Started 9th. And now he's starting to pull back in. Currently running in the 6th position, right behind Eric Goodale. Out of Holmdel, New Jersey is Andrew Kraus. There's a handful of tracks on the Whelen Modified Tour circuit where you've got local drivers that really can make a difference. And, you know, Andrew Kraus is a guy that has been running on the Whelen Modified Tour now for several seasons, has had good runs in the part-time efforts that he's had, but there is nothing like racing at home and racing in front of your hometown crowd. And Andrew Kraus is trying to use that strength to his advantage. How this racetrack changes as a run goes on. Caution flag is out, 4th one of the day. This time, multiple cars involved. Anthony Nocella in the 46, and the 9 of Tommy Wanek has gone around. The 4th caution of the day, and Austin Beers is out in front in the Jersey Shore 150. So Tommy Wanek making his debut in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour said, I've got a couple of tracks that I want to have the opportunity to run on. Tracks that I've been to, I've liked as a spectator, or I've had success at, just want to try them out. And so this, a checklist, bucket list item to be able to race here at Wall Stadium tonight for Tommy Wanek. Expect to see him in a few more races. There's Anthony Nocella in the number 46 car. As Nocella will now have to work his way to the back of the pack. Turn 3 has been the hot spot here tonight. Let's take a look at what happened. There you see the leaders all checking up. Look at how hard Andrew Kraus got into the back of the 58 of Eric Goodale while the wreck was right in front of them. And we'll see how bad the damage is as the yellow light came on just as he was midway down the back straightaway. And that Nerf bar, that front bumper pushed up quite a bit, but it did what it was supposed to do and kept that radiator intact for the 24 car of Andrew Krause. So he will be able to continue on in this event and will continue running where he is on track. Look at the back of the 58 of Eric Goodale's car, because there was two sides to that story. Not only a pretty heavy hit to the Andrew Krause number 24, but also a pretty good look to the back of the 58 of Eric Goodale. You hear when they drive by, that bumper pushed way in on the 58 Riverhead Building Supply car for Goodale. See it there, crumpled up pretty good. Still looks to be connected though on each end of the Nerf bar where that bar wraps around. Damaged the sail panel there on the right side quarter panel, and the bumper as well. And the Andrew Krause 24 shouldn't impact either one of these drivers when we get back up to full speed, as it's not one of those racetracks like New Hampshire Motor Speedway where it's all aerodynamics here at this racetrack. So Austin Beers out in front, and throughout the season, the discussion has been around Austin Beers and how he has gotten a little bit more aggressive. The last time out, Austin Beers was leading the race, and on every restart, it seemed like he would lose a couple of spots. I asked him about it before the race. I said, how focused are you on restarts? And he said, I am very focused on restarts, very focused on being aggressive on restarts, and knowing that I can't give up spots. In fact, I've got to gain them. Let's see what he does here this time around. He'll take the outside lane on this start. First time today. Austin Beers goes to the outside. Ron Silk will have the bottom. He's on the front row with an opportunity to challenge for the race lead. Green flag is back out at Wall Stadium, and they are toe-to-toe into turn one. Here's Ronnie Silk. Shoves Beers up the racetrack to take the race lead. Now Kobe slides into second. He'll look to do the same as Beers now stuck in the outside lane, 91 laps in. Silk to the lead. Kobe, Bonsignor through. Andrew Krause now trying to go to the inside lane. Beers pushing down, trying to pinch off the inside lane, but Andrew Krause is too strong, draws even off turn two. Beers slightly ahead through turns 3 and 4. Now able to clear Andrew Krause and goes from first to fourth on that exchange by choosing the outside lane of the restart, and Ronnie Silk just so good to the bottom. Here is Kobe up front though, starting to put the heat on Ronnie Silk. Off turn 2, Kobe looking down to the inside lane, into 3, skates up the racetrack almost like he did with Matt Hirschman earlier. Silk wasn't there though, and this time Kobe uses that chrome horn himself to try to unsettle the 16 car of Ronnie Silk. Looks inside in turn 1. Watch the bump right here off turn 2, right there. It unsettles the race cars ever so slightly, and if you can pitch that car to the left as you go down the back straightaway, you can set up a run to the inside and try to make a move. Here is Kobe doing exactly that. Looks to the inside line of the back straightaway, didn't have room. And these two opening up a healthy advantage over a second now advantage. Back to the third place machine as Kobe again works the inside lane in turns 3 and 4. Slight contact, they come together on the straightaway. Kobe all the way to the bottom, and he'll lose 10 car lengths. It's about being tough. It's about being aggressive at this New Jersey racetrack. Inside of 50 laps to go, and Ron Silk was not going to have any of Doug Kobe working to the inside lane and was not going to give up any ground. That's the biggest lead we've seen out of anybody all night long between Silk or Austin Beers, who had a pretty good lead earlier today. There you see Beers trying to hold on to that 64 car back to the 4th spot. Andrew Krause runs 5th. Austin Beers spent many times spotting here at this racetrack. Actually, as a spotter, got his first win here at Wall Stadium, and he said, that experience gives me the information that I need to know when is the line going to change. Is it going to move from the bottom? Is it going to move up to the outside lane? And that may have contributed why he decided to pick the outside lane under that most recent restart. He looks down to the inside on Justin Bonsignore. Now, they race modifieds here at Wall Stadium, but they're not quite an SK. They're not quite a Tour type modified, but the lap times are just about as fast as what we see in these Whelen modified Tour cars. And so that line that changes throughout the night does play a role. We saw it earlier where they ran the bottom first 50 laps or so. The second 50 laps, the outside middle lane started to come into play a bit. And now that battle for the lead is on. Doug Coby clearly has a quick race car because not too long ago he was about 10 car lengths behind Ronnie Silk, and he has closed that down to 1. And for the first time tonight, lap traffic becomes a factor. Tommy Wanek in the 9 down to the inside. Silk and Coby, first and second. Outside lane, Anthony Nocella in the path of the race leader. Coby makes contact. He goes around in turn 3. Fifth caution of the night, and this time, turn 3, it's Doug Coby who spins. He grabs a gear quickly to rejoin the field. 41 laps to go, and while racing a lapped automobile with the race leader, Ronnie Silk, Doug Coby brings out the caution. What a sequence of events. We're going to get another look at it. Here is Coby racing up forward. And he is not happy at all with the 46 of Anthony Nocella. Here's what happens. Silk gives Nocella the chrome horn. Nocella cuts down to the inside, getting into turn 3, and chops off Doug Coby. I don't know if he knew Coby was there, but here's another look at it. Nocella knows that he's in the way of the leader. He cuts down a bit early on the end of the straightaway. He didn't know Coby was there, and Coby went spinning. And he is hot under the helmet of that number 7 New York. Coby wants so badly to win at this racetrack. And he went up afterwards and drove into the side of the 46 car under caution of Anthony Nocella. And he has now been put back. We'll see where the official scoring is based on how it all shaked out after the caution period. But Doug Coby is hot in that 7 New York car. We'll get another look at what transpired just a few moments ago. It was the first time that lap traffic had really come into a play here tonight. And I think Silk was a bit surprised while they were trying to race side by side for the race lead that Nocella was there. You see Nocella here running the high lane of the racetrack, and that backed Ronnie Silk up on the end of the straightaway. Nocella pulls down to the inside lane. Contact was made with Doug Coby. Another look at it. Fifth time tonight we've had trouble in turns 3 and 4, and this time at the hand of Doug Coby going around. And as they've rotated through the scoring, Coby was able to get that car turned around pretty quickly, and NASCAR is right now showing Doug Coby in the 7th spot. So he's not that far back. How much damage was caused on the right front of that car, though, when Anthony Nocella came down the racetrack and they made contact, or when they made contact again on the left front of the car. Then again, maybe it was just setting the toe straight. Who knows? But there was contact. More than once. So Coby back to 7th. Now, let's reset it. Ron Silk is the race leader. Justin Bonsignore sitting 2nd. You've got Austin Beers now 3rd. Andrew Krause is continuing to pick away at it. He's up to 4th now. Eric Goodale, your top 5. Here's Eddie McCarthy in the 20 car. Great run for Eddie McCarthy Jr. in the 20 machine. He's running 6th. Doug Kobe, 7th. Anthony Cecily, J.B. Fortin, 9th. Another strong run for him. And Kyle Bonsignore, your top 10 as he goes for his 6th consecutive top 10 finish in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Well, that got interesting real quick. And that is why we've got a packed house here tonight at Wall Stadium. And being that you're so close to the beach, only about 7 miles away from the Jersey Shore, it's got a boardwalk-like atmosphere, funnel cakes on the midway, cotton candy, late arriving crowd, leave the beach right to the racetrack. And they come in, sandals, coolers from their day at the beach to watch this action tonight. And this one has been fun. We've seen Austin Beers out in front, 51. Justin Bonsignore, a slight stint out in front. There you see the crowd on hand. And it is a beautiful sight here in New Jersey. Could you give me the 22 car? He's running 10th, 22 car, 10th. Perfect night for racing. Next time we race, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour goes to the 1 mile at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And that is one that they all have circled. Tapered spacers, kind of like restrictor plates in play for that one. The draft will be in full effect. Hopefully you can join us in person. If not, certainly here on Flow Racing, as we've got you covered all season long with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. A 19 race schedule that will be crowning the champion in the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia in October. Lights are out atop the pace car. We've got a new front row. It's Ronnie Silk, the race leader, to the outside lane. Justin Bonsignore on the bottom. And we are ready to turn him loose here and head toward the finish in the Jersey Shore 150. Silk with a great launch in the outside lane takes over the top spot. Austin Beers challenging to the bottom of Justin Bonsignore in turn 3. Kraus in 4th, and Eddie McCarthy able to pick up a spot. He's now inside the top 5. Let's keep an eye on Doug Kobe. 7 New York. Did not have a great start, lost his spot. Now he battles to the bottom of the 19 of Anthony Cecily, a 2-time track champion here at Wall, and he gets it done. Behind them, the 22 car of Kyle Bonsignore, whose spotter, Anthony Buzella, was one of the spotters at the Chicago street race when the 91 team from Trackhouse Racing was able to get the victory there in Van Gisbergen. And he's tonight spotting that 22 car for Kyle Bonsignore. As Bonsignore goes to the inside of Cecily, they come together, sparks fly, Cecily able to rope it back in, but the caution flag eventually does come out for the 6th time tonight. This time trouble in turn 2 between the 22 of Kyle Bonsignore and the 19 of Anthony Cecily. There you see the right front tire is down for the 22 of Kyle Bonsignore, and that streak of top 10 finishes is going to be challenged here tonight for a team that's running 6th in the championship standings and having a really solid year this year. So the 22 of Kyle Bonsignore, he'll try to ease that car back into the pit area. Didn't quite get there. Continues to drive around the racetrack as sparks fly and damage, no doubt, to that right front suspension on his race car. Pit road closed at the moment. And now Bonsignore pulls up to driver's right. And we'll see, make it down pit road. No, he's gonna try to stay out on track here. So that got pretty interesting pretty quick there over there in turns 1 and 2. Bonsignore, like we've seen earlier today, similar to that Doug Kobe, Matt Hirschman incident earlier in the day. Went down to the inside of the 19 of Anthony Cecily, but just did not quite have enough room to be able to make that work. There he is, finally able to make his way down pit road. Speaking of Matt Hirschman, he has not been able to pick up any ground. Hirschman's back in the 16th spot after racing for second with Doug Kobe. He'll pick up a spot here as Bonsignor goes down pit road. But up front, it's Ronnie Silk. Championship point leader in that 16 car. And what a banner season he is having. He won the championship of the series in 2011. That year he had 3 wins, led 338 laps, and finished an average of 7th. So far this season, midway through the year, he's got 2 wins, has already led more laps than he did in his championship year, and has finished no worse than 7th all year, and has averaged a podium finish in the 2023 campaign. Ron Silk, Phil Moran, Tyler Height, Joe Yanone, and that group, they've been on it all season long. And they get their 3rd win tonight here in the Jersey Shore 150. Ronnie Silk to the outside lane, Justin Bonsignor down low. Green flag flies once again, and Bonsignor able to keep pace as they head for 1. To the inside lane, Justin Bonsignor, wheel to wheel for the race lead. Outside lane, it's Ronnie Silk. Off turn 4, Justin Bonsignor, the new leader. Silk not ready to give it up yet, though. Sails it deep, off turn number 2. Inside of 20 laps to go, and Justin Bonsignor takes sole possession of the race lead. Off turn 2, trouble. The 64 car of Austin Beers goes around, and multiple cars involved. The 58, Eric Goodale. The 3, Jake Johnson. They both got damage in the incident. Beers spinning. With 18 to go, after winning the pole and leading laps early, brings out the 6th caution of the day, make it 7th of the day, and boy, that is not the way Eric Goodale wanted to end his night. The left front pointed in the wrong direction and stopped at the bottom of turn 4. NASCAR officials will go out and make sure all is well with Eric Goodale as he begins to unbuckle from that race car. Damage earlier to the rear of the car with contact just as a caution flag came out from Andrew Kraus. And now Eric Goodale involved in this incident, and there was pretty good contact as things closed up very, very quickly off turn number 2. And this is one of the challenges of this racetrack because you got high banks. Things happen very, very quick here. You see it here. It was the 64 that was out of shape already, and then as everybody piled in, Jake Johnson comes in and just absolutely clobbers the left front of Eric Goodale, trying to work to the inside lane of the racetrack, and just did not have enough room to get by that incident. Kobe was in it. The 19 was in it as well. Watch the black and orange 19. That car went airborne for Anthony Sesley. That's what got Eric Goodale involved, and right there, the contact between Jake Johnson and Eric Goodale in the 58 sent those cars both down to the infield, as multiple cars involved in this one. So Goodale going to try to get that car back to the pit area. Well, at least the wrecker will. As Eric Goodale, Austin Beers, Jake Johnson, and Anthony Sesley, some of the cars involved in this latest incident. Boy, that Sesley car climbing the Armco barrier along the back straightaway skyward and landed pretty hard on the right side of that race car. As the field has been stopped to allow time to clean up the incident here and make sure that the racetrack is prepped and ready to go towards the finish. Let's get another look at what happened, and it starts with the 64 of Austin Beers and Andrew Kraus. You see, they start to check up at the exit of turn 2. Kraus gets his foot back in the gas as Beers' car was a bit out of shape. You see the left rear tire, I think, might have been down on the Beers 64. He went spinning, and here comes Jake Johnson just pile driving into that left side of Eric Goodale. and knocking that left front sideways. Watch this 64. His car right there starts to get sideways. It's a little bit more help as it was well out of shape. And there's the 19 up and over. Little wheel stand on the right front. And Jake Johnson, who was already at the bottom of the racetrack, and Eric Goodale, who really just slid into him. Melissa Fifield just avoiding that as well. That was Matt Hirschman in the 60 car. So Justin Bonsignor tonight made his 200th career start. And he is the race leader alongside Ronnie Silk. And the battles that these two drivers have put on all season long has been tremendous. You started off the season at the New Smyrna Speedway, and they were racing for that 1948 Cup to celebrate the 75th year of NASCAR, where it all started on the beaches of Daytona with modified action. And these two drivers, the 51 of Justin Bonsignor, the 16 of Ronnie Silk, they were going at it. Silk ended up winning that race and was able to capture that. They had another battle at Riverhead. Silk won that one last time out. They also had one with Justin Bonsignor coming out on top in the late going, where Silk said, "This was on me. I should have been better in the late going. I should have been better on the restarts." And today it's going to come into play. Get down to the final few laps of this one, and you can see how intense it is. The 64 car of Austin Beers has stopped right at the start-finish line, and so the wreckers are going to go ahead and push that car out of the way. And that is a really tough break for that team with the strength that they have had all season long. And considering where they have been running in the championship standings this year, they've been in the hunt all year long, came in the 4th spot in the standings, and now is shown outside the top 15 in the running order for the 64 of Beers. After leading laps early and winning his 3rd pole of the season, got shaked around here a little bit tonight. And we'll have to see what he can do to salvage best of a finish and whatever damage that car may have here tonight. So Andrew Kraus, little by little, continues to work his way forward and picks up another spot to run in 3rd when we get this field ready to come back around for the start. The driver in 4th, Eddie McCarthy, his best finish of his career came here a year ago in 7th, and so he's having a banner day as well. And from what we have seen so far, you can't count anybody out. Remember, a year ago, Jimmy Blewett won this race, and he did it on a restart with 13 laps to go. And who did he beat? He beat Andrew Kraus. That's how he got the victory a year ago. It all came down to the wire. Kraus has had good runs in his own right. Ended up 4th here a year ago after that solid run, leading 70 laps. See if he can do a few better here tonight and get the win at his home track and the track that his family operates and promotes for Andrew Kraus as a part-time runner on the series. All right, getting ready to get back under the green flag here. Lights of the pace truck are out. And it is getting down to business. Justin Bonsignor going up against Ron Silk, 2 series champions, 2 local track drivers right behind them, and Andrew Kraus and Eddie McCarthy. Green flag flies again here at Wall Stadium as the field rumbles off into turn 1. Bonsignor gives the elbow to Ronnie Silk, shoves him up the racetrack. Silk, though, stays to the outside lane, draws even through turns 3 and 4. Wheel to wheel for the race lead, single file behind them. Bonsignor to the top spot. Caution. 8th caution of the night. And it is for Thomas Martino, who has spun. Second time he has brought out the caution here tonight. And J.B. Fortin, who was also running inside the top 10, and Max Zackham have come together. And they are trying to do, it looks like a victory lane donut and maybe disconnect those two race cars. Seems like the bumper of the 34 is stuck in the Nerf bar. There it comes free of the 26 of Max Zackham, and J.B. Fortin's going to walk away with a front bumper torn off and a left rear tire gone. So tough way to end the night for J.B. Fortin, another driver. We were just talking about the strength of Austin Beers this season and how he's been running in the championship standings. Well, J.B. Fortin's been right there with him. He's been in 5th, having a great year. So a run that was inside the top 10 will get spoiled late for J.B. Fortin. So tough break for a couple of the contenders up front. We've seen Kobe fall, Beers fall, and now J.B. Fortin has trouble, while Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignore continue to try to duel for the win here tonight. 142 laps complete in the Jersey Shore 150. A tremendous crowd, a tremendous racetrack, a tremendous culture here at the Wall Stadium, making such a special evening, a special event. And this one here tonight has had a little bit of everything. Had some tempers, had some sparks flying, few bump and runs along the way. Been a pretty entertaining race so far, and we are not done yet, as the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour continues to roll through an exciting month of July, kicking things off here at the Wall Stadium. Next weekend, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, talked about the Magic Mile, and then Claremont in New Hampshire at the end of the month, where we've got the Granite State Short Track Cup and the JDV Productions event, where there's some extra bonus money on the line for drivers that have the opportunity to win a mini championship point fund around the racetracks that we've run so far, Monadnock, Lee USA Speedway, and capping things off at Claremont Speedway in New Hampshire. We go from the shore here in New Jersey up to a very picturesque racetrack at the end of the month in Claremont, and that's always a great racing action. Head down to Lancaster on August 5th, continue the action on through back to Langley the end of the month, and one of the highlights on the season schedule this year might be the trip to North Wilkesboro Speedway in the month of September. And that's one that everybody's looking forward to as part of the racetrack revival that kicked things off for short track racing, restoring that great and famed facility. Modifieds will be going there here this September, but they won't go through there until they finish this one. So Justin Bonsignore has decided to start on the inside lane for this late race restart. Ron Silk up top. They turn him loose. Green flag is out. Silk and Bonsignore, a bit of contact on the start. 5 to go. Bonsignore able to get clear. Silk is here. He gives him the bumper. Shoves him up the racetrack. Here comes Ronnie Silk down to the inside lane. Contact for third behind. McCarthy up to third. The crossover move this time. Bonsignore looks to the bottom lane. He won't hold anything back. These two have created a rivalry this season. Across the line they come. 3 to go. Silk wavers a bit in turn 2, but Bonsignore is not able to capitalize on it. They come together in turn 4. The chrome horn with 2 to go. Ron Silk a 1 car length advantage back to the 51 of Justin Bonsignore. This time off turn 4, he'll see the white flag as Bonsignore close enough to challenge. Final time around is Ronnie Silk in command off turn 2. For the 3rd time this season, Ronnie Silk has won on the Whelen Modified Tour, and he's won the Jersey Shore 150. What an event for Ronnie Silk. He and Justin Bonsignore went at it. And as this season rolls on, but we're going to see a lot more of that, Ronnie Silk gets the win. Justin Bonsignor will settle for second, and it's going to be Eddie McCarthy, that late race contact that we saw at the end of this one, who's going to get a career best finish. His first podium will finish third. Anthony Sesley fourth. Andrew Kraus fifth. Doug Coby could not rally. He'll finish sixth. Matt Hirschman did at the end. He came seventh. Blake Barney eighth. Austin Beers came home ninth. He rallied at the end too. And then Dave Zapienza ended up 10th here tonight at Wall Stadium. What a race we saw here this evening. Modified Tour action at its best. Two series champions going at it there on that late race restart, and we have said it many times this season between Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignor, and they put on a show here tonight. Used that front bumper, tried the bump and run. It worked, and it made the difference. Ronnie Silk, the winner today, will extend his championship point lead. It was 10 points ahead of Justin Bonsignor coming in, and Silk will gain a little bit here tonight. Everything counts. Getting out of the race car, Justin Bonsignor goes over and congratulates some of the crew members as they walk to congratulate their winner. That was the car owner of the 16 for Tyler Haight, who owns that 16 car, along with Joe Yanone, having a banner season this year. You know, last year, everybody was asking, what is going on with this team that we thought had all the right ingredients? They got Phil Moran, multiple championships with Doug Coby, won a championship in the early 2000s with Todd Zegedy. Phil Moran, one of the best tuners in the garage area. And they couldn't figure out why one of the championship drivers with the best equipment couldn't find their way to victory lane last year. Well, they have silenced all the critics here in 2023. And as Ronnie Silk gets ready to climb out of that race car and salute this raucous crowd here in New Jersey, he is victorious now. 3 wins at 3 different racetracks here in the 2023 season. Are we going to hear from him on this broadcast or no? Are we going to have audio from Silk on this? So Silk with the track PA interview, the entire team celebrating. Phil Moran with his back to us there, the 16 on the far right of the frame. That's the crew chief.
Be talking about, because last week tying his record best finish here at Bowman Gray with a second place performance. This is his first year racing for New Day Motorsports with that number 44 machine, a brand new PSR chassis, and what I really love too is his rig. He has the coolest rig in here, because the Bob Garbarino Mystic Missile number 4 on the Whelen Modified Tour, NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, has been just a tradition for so many years, and Bob, of course, is retired, but he sold the rig to Daniel Beeson, and he brings it in proudly every week. But Beeson is starting to come into his own in this New Day Motorsports team. Oh, I think we have a caution for a very special reason. Folks, the cars are stopping. There's a red flag. Oh, and if you look on the infield grass, they are laying down a marker that looks like a T. Well, there's a reason for this. That's because we're going to have some amazing paratroopers. We're going to have the lights in the sky, I think it's called. Have you ever seen this, Jacqueline?
You know, I don't think I have. I'm going to find out, though. About to see it all unfold. There's a lot of different things that happen at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
You know, for Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, yes.
And so I'm not sure if I've seen this actual performance or display, but fans have their phones up looking to the sky. I don't see it yet. So
no, we don't see it yet. But
something.
I think people are looking up. The fans are looking up right now. But, folks, what we're about to see is the Fire in the Sky Nighttime Pyrotechnic Parachute Jump. Can you say that? Hold on. Let's see if you can say it right here.
All right, here we go. Fire in the Sky Nighttime Pyrotechnic Parachute Jump.
That's a mouthful.
That is.
I don't know how the both of us got that right.
I read it off of his paper.
That's a miracle.
If I didn't read it, I think I've been hard.
You don't think
say
I
it
read
now.
it?
Say it now. Say it. Don't look at. Don't read
look
it.
I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
The Fire in the Sky Nighttime Pyrotechnic Parachute
Jump.
People Jump.
You got it.
Parachute people.
Is the T facing the right way, though?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think they would know more about T than I.
Well, I'm saying it's
Why
technically
is it a
upside
T?
down.
Why can't it
You
be like?
said T.
Why isn't it another letter?
I don't know.
But okay, so right now the
personally wanna
modified
choose T.
division is in a red flag, and there is a reason because we have this pyrotechnic jump, and our cameras are going to be searching the sky. They've already got the flag on the field house scoreboard. All the fans are now looking towards the sky too, and I think I'm seeing people.
I just got really excited, but it's a plane.
Oh, it's a plane. Oh, it might be the plane that they're jumping out of.
Do you see it blinking?
Oh, I see a plane blinking.
But I was like, oh no, that's not them.
That might not be
I
them.
don't know. That looks way too high.
Well, I don't know if this is a big prank. No. I am hearing the crowd outside
They're
of here.
cheering.
We should show the crowd here. Oh, there they are right there. You see the crowd. There's about 14,000 people here tonight. Not a capacity crowd. 16,900 roughly is the capacity crowd here at Bowman Gray Stadium, but still a great crowd on hand here for a short track auto race. And now the phones are coming out in the grandstands, and you know, everybody's looking towards the sky, and you're going to see
They're looking back, like, behind the field house, so maybe that's why we can't see it.
This is interesting. I think
We're
it's
gonna
coming
find
up.
out.
I don't know. I'm hoping our camera people are going to be able to find it, but it's going to be a paratrooper with an American flag and probably lit up like the 4th of July. This was supposed to happen around 4th of July weekend, and let's just update you on that. Well, you know, the week before 4th of July weekend it was supposed to happen, but you know, folks, it was not good conditions for jumping out of an airplane. There was a lot of wind, a lot of weather nearby. Oh, and I see it right now. It's entering.
I see it.
It's entering in front of the field house. This is great. Look at this. Red, white, and blue, folks. This is for you. Red, white, and blue onto the field house. The field, the football field, and what a jump. What a landing here. God bless the USA. That was the fire in the sky.
Here's another one.
There's another one? Oh, my gosh. Here we go.
Ah.
What a great shot by our Flow Racing crew. The fans are loving it. There's a third. There is a third. Oh, here we go.
How cool
Seeing
is
these
this?
paratroopers in the middle of the night jumping out of airplanes and landing on the football field. This one around the 40-yard line. Oh, a hard landing there. But he gets up.
How cool is that? I love it.
Is there any more? I mean,
I haven't
geez, how
seen
many
it.
of these
It's
people
dark,
got?
so it's hard to see. They're just coming out of nowhere, you know?
I mean, maybe that's what paratroopers do. They just come out of the night.
Yeah.
I heard pyrotechnic, so I was kind of thinking like
Fire.
like spark machines and all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun because we're even in the booth here not knowing what's going on and just aimlessly looking towards the sky in hopes of seeing something just appear.
Matt, you crack me up. We don't know what's happening up here.
I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not a liar. Like last week when I botched that finish in the sportsman division. People are like, you don't need to apologize for it on Facebook. I'm like, well, yeah, I do. I messed up. Own it. Well, right now, I don't know what's going on.
Here we go. We have more. This
Oh, my
one
gosh.
has the
This one has
American
a American flag. Here we go. Oh, I can't wait to see this one. It's going towards turn number 3 right now.
The crowd's chanting USA. You can't hear it.
Oh, there we go.
but
We
they
got
are.
the shot on Flow Racing right now. This one's coming in hard and fast here to the field house. As Lee Greenwood would say, I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died who gave that right to me, and I proudly stand up next to you, Jacqueline Drake. Look at this. God bless the USA. God bless America, Johnny Sauter. Oh, what a landing. And the track crew picks up the American flag, doing it a great honor. Crowd is on their feet here at Bowman Gray Stadium. That was amazing. What a good job by the Fire in the Sky nighttime pyrotechnic parachute jump. We're going to come back. The red flag will be lifted, and we will be modified racing once again on Flow Racing.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
And we're back here at the Madhouse after a red flag in this modified 100 for a parachute pyrotechnic jump. Folks, I don't know. You might watch the Sprint Car Million this week on Flow Racing. You might watch Thunder Road this week on Flow Racing. You might watch Utica Rome, NASCAR Weekly Racing Series track on Flow Racing, Stafford Motor Speedway, whatever you choose. But I doubt any of those races will have a red flag for people jumping out of airplanes and landing on a football field. Thank you.
And once you check that off your bingo card, as we get cars rolling, a little bit of a strategy here.
What would be what would be Bowman Gray bingo? Let's get with this. We can have some fun in the booth here.
Okay, Bowman Gray bingo.
Middle fingers.
Well, no, that's easy. That's like the free space.
It's free space.
That is the free space. Okay.
A last lap bump for a win.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one.
How about someone eating a snow cone? Iconic.
How about
here.
the booth eating little donuts?
We have not done that yet.
No, we have not. Zach, his family has to.
Well then, no more donuts for you.
Zach,
Yeah, that would be it.
Jacqueline jumping in the booth.
Already did that.
You already did that.
Check.
Mark that off your.
Check.
The cone
lights
going out
up.
by
Well,
the gloved.
the
oh, there's little donuts.
The lights
The cone's
stopped
about to go out.
working on the
Well,
cone
I think,
too.
nope. One more time until the cones go out. But look at little donuts right there. I still got to work on that sign because he now is mini
it is.
donuts. It's so confusing.
Was it
Work
not
on the
many?
branding. Look
They're
at the
not-
concession.
They
Look
are
at the trailer,
many.
the red
what
trailer.
are you talking about? They are many.
No, but the brand they're called Little Donuts. And now all of a sudden he has a sign that says mini. Now you see that red trailer right there. Folks, if you come to Bowman Gray Stadium, it's not just donuts. That souvenir rig right there has some great Bowman Gray Stadium t-shirts and souvenirs. If you bring your kids here, you can get checkered flags. You could get toy cars. There's so much cool things here at Bowman Gray Stadium. There's like you said, snow cones, Kona
Yes.
Ice.
I always go to Kona Ice.
Are you a Kona Ice
Yeah,
girl?
I get
Yeah.
the pina colada.
I mean, it's really all natural, like like
It's
that
healthy, huh?
bright red stuff that you put on the
I
ice.
don't know.
It's
I
yummy
don't do
though.
the red.
Look as we pan here. Hey, S&R Motors right there. That's the company owned by Melvin Puddin Swisher, a longtime modified great here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And as we pan the midway, you see the arch there? I love those arches. They're just like the epitome of the architecture of this great stadium. I actually had half of my engagement photos done here at Bowman Gray Stadium
Did you?
years ago, like 12 years ago.
What was the other half?
The other half,
Like
my
you
wife
shot
chose.
here by yourself and
Well,
she.
no, my wife chose the other half. She wanted like this pretty mansion thing, and I wanted Bowman Gray Stadium. So, hey, Joey Denowitz is here.
He walked
Joey,
in.
would
He's
you like
looking
to
fancy
be on for a
today.
second?
He's looking
Joey
real
Denowitz,
fancy.
the
buttoned
greatest
down.
hair in the history of NASCAR auto racing, and Joey Denowitz is actually working now on top of the ladder, I guess you'd say, with the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series
He's
and Touring
scared.
Series.
He's scared.
And,
He's running away.
A true racer. He's been a race car driver himself. And hey, come here, Joey. Joey Denowitz is a race car driver himself, late model star, go-kart star. and best known in his career for finishing second.
He's shaking his head the entire time saying no. Oh,
I love the fact that he's here,
baiting.
though, because this is such a great place for NASCAR racing, Jacqueline. And to see the people that are on the top of the NASCAR Touring Series and NASCAR Weekly Series coming to these racetracks each and every week is a great thing. A great hire by NASCAR, by the way, because Joey is a true racer.
Choose cone is gone. We're going to go green this time by.
And once again, Junior Snow taking the risk and taking the outside groove.
Wow, what a drive right there by the 16. Mind game central, but it's going to work because he's going to get the lead, followed by the number 51, Junior Snow, now in second place.
Oh, don't look now, but look who's in third place, the driver of the number 83, the Rocket. Tim Brown rockets his way into third position. Tim Brown on the move, using those restarts to get to the front of the field.
He really had to make his way up through the field after that bad initial restart. Hopefully didn't use up too much tire doing so. Now sitting in the top 3 position. And right behind him is the number 57 of Danny Bone, holding on to that 4th position.
Tim Brown has been breaking records ever since he's gotten in this division. One of the fastest modified drivers of all time. Not just your guy that wins the championships all those years, 12 NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars modified championships here at Bowman Gray Stadium, but he is also the pole king. 139 career poles for the Rocket. Tim Brown, one of the fastest drivers in the history of Bowman Gray Stadium and your current track record holder in this division.
Now we just came off of that long red flag, so as time goes on, heat getting back into the tires of these cars. You're going to see a lot of movement throughout the field. Some cars may be better once the tires are heated up. Some might be better once they're a little bit cooled off. So we're going to see just kind of what happens throughout the mid-pack of the field here. But Chris Fleming, man, he's doing a great job holding on to that lead. Not getting too much pressure from Junior Snow at this time. Right where he wants to be. We're 45 laps in the books currently.
40 laps into this race, and right now drivers are just feeling out these race cars. These tires don't wear that much. You know, all the drivers have been telling me the last few weeks that they can run a full 100 and be pretty good by the end of it, unless they really have a bad handling race car, maybe abuse that right front if it's pushing, abuse that right rear if it's loose. Right now, the car that we're keeping an eye on is the guy that's tied for the points lead here at Bowman Gray, and that is the center safe number 1 of Burt Myers. Myers right there on the back bumper of the Q104.1 machine of Brandon Ward. Those two have tussled here before. Burt Myers was on the way to a championship just 3 years ago when they got together, and then under caution, Brandon Ward made contact with Burt Myers, pretty much ending his championship bid. This is what I would say the second great rivalry at this place. Right now, it's the tie of the Titans atop the standings with Tim Brown and Burt Myers. Those are your biggest rivals here at the Modified Division. I'd say that's part 2.
We just hit that halfway 50-lap mark that time by Chris Fleming's going to be your leader at halfway. Everybody just seems to be sitting pretty right now, trying to make it through until it's officially go time. Not too much movement right now all throughout the field. We can give you a quick rundown of the top 10 as it lays, with Chris Fleming, your leader, followed by Junior Snow. And as I say that, caution flag is going to fly. We've got a car stopped in turn 2.
Drew Moffitt has gone around in turn number 2. Drew Moffitt making his return to the Bowman Gray Stadium Wars, the driver of that number 51 machine. 2/10 designs on board for the driver of that black and orange machine from Lexington, North Carolina. Just saw him the other day. I think it was at Caraway Speedway, and I was like, man, where have you been? And he's like, I promise I'm coming back this week. And I saw him this week. I saw him today in the pit area, and he's like, I told you. And I'm like, you're a man of your word, Moffitt. So it was great to see Moffitt come back here. Always love seeing a promising driver like that returning to the Madhouse. So right now, you were talking about 50 laps in, 53 laps in now. Your leader is Chris Fleming of this race, and it looks like Brian Lofton has pulled up to pit in that number 69 machine, typically driven by John Holloman the 4th. Brian Lofton one of the greats here at Bowman Gray Stadium, a 6-time winner, but he's also won in the Touring Series races here. But Chris Fleming, your leader right now. Junior Snow sits in second position. The number 83 of Tim Brown sits in the third position. Fourth position, Danny Bone, and the number 57 making another appearance. He always comes here for the big races. Fifth place, Brandon Ward. Sixth place, Burt Myers. Seventh place, Daniel Beeson. Eighth place is the number 37 car of Mike Speeney. Ninth place will be Lee Jeffries. And 10th right now, still in 10th, trying to make his way up to the top 4 is Jason Myers, who took the Fans Challenge for a $6,000 bonus.
We're going to knock a little bit of laps off here with the caution, doing a little bit of pacing. So we have gotten to lap 54 currently before the choose cone comes back out.
Choose cone will probably come back the next time by. Brian Lofton has exited the pit area and rejoined the field in that Black Sand Company number 69. He and his son Carson Lofton, a young 15-year-old modified driver, work on that number 69 car, typically driven by John Holloman. It's at their shop that they work on it, and they're always here every week, not competing any longer at Bowman Gray Stadium, but enjoying family time working on John Holloman's modified. And Carson's learning a lot wrenching on these race cars, not just driving them.
Oh, I bet. Anytime you can be hands-on, I think it also really enhances you as a driver because you can know what you want, communicate that, and that's into all levels of motorsports. It's a skill that you can use throughout your entire motorsports career, so I love to always hear that. While we were under this caution, we did have the number 39 of Gerald Robinson Jr. exit, go to the pits, and return back to the racetrack. Cone is out. The cone is out. Let's see what they choose this time at the line.
Here's the cone. And choosing the outside is Junior Snow once again. Can he mount a charge, or is he going to do what he did last time, which was just try to get to the bottom? If you're trying to get to the bottom, you know, if you can't get that launch, you might as well start in third, is my thought. Now he's going to have his hands full because the driver starting on the inside of the second row is definitely going to do his due diligence to fill that hole and not let the 51 down, and that is Tim Brown in that Dayglow Orange, number 83. 56 laps on the scoreboard here at the historic Fieldhouse, and oh, Fleming runs him high there on the start. Green flag is out. Junior Snow gets to the bottom. Side by side for P3. On the bottom is Tim Brown. On the outside, Danny Bone as they dance to the north turn.
Great work by Junior Snow, able to find a gap and capitalize. Tim Brown got a little bit caught up there on the restart, not exactly on his toes where you normally would see him. Danny Bone on the outside of him, followed by Brandon Ward and Burt Myers.
Oh boy, the battle for fourth is on right now. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, side by side around this racetrack. A tight quarter-mile oval, hard to race side by side in these 600 horsepower open-wheeled breathing dragons, but they're doing it here in front of 14,000 fans and putting on a spectacular show.
Throw a blanket over them, all battling for that third, fourth, fifth, sixth position. Right behind them, the 44 of Daniel Beeson's going to get a little bit of shot from behind from the 37 of Speeney.
Now Myers goes down to the bottom. The car stuck on the outside is the number 57 of Danny Bone. He's going to get freight trained back to the back. Here comes Burt Myers closing in. He's on the bottom. He's going to take the fifth spot.
Not what Danny Bone wants to see right now. Going to get that freight train continuing. The gap opens up. He's going to be able to get down just a little bit. Burt Myers now sitting in the fifth place position. Tim Brown, podium in third currently.
That's big for Burt Myers. He wants to stay as close as he can to the driver, that 83. They're locked on top of the point standings in a tie heading into tonight. Race meet number 9 of the season here at Bowman Gray Stadium. 64 laps on the board. Chris Fleming is still your leader.
Lots of shots from behind with Dan Speeney to the number 44 of Daniel Beeson trying to get around him. Seems to be holding them up. And behind Speeney, you're going to find the number 75 of Lee Jeffries and Jason Myers rounding out your top 10. So lots of pushing from behind as we're working on lap 66 this time.
Here comes a good battle. You were talking about it right there. Beeson is holding off a ferocious charge by the driver of that number 37, Mike Speeney. Speeney, the silver machine, the shooting targets machine. Another shot to the back bumper of the 44. He moves him out of the way and takes the spot.
He's been trying.
Oh, and now the 44 gets into the number 75 of Lee Jeffries, and Jeffries goes around, and the caution flag is out. And look, who else is involved?
Jason Myers,
who's in the 10th position.
That's predictable. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as he pulled down on the inside, you're going into the entry of the corner.
Not a good angle.
No, not a good angle. Lee Jeffries is going to make his way around and get right behind Speeney, hoping to secure his spot. Did he actually stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, the 75 stop, so I don't think he's going to get that spot back. But let's look at the Flow Racing replay and see what happens here, because Speeney gets into the back bumper of the 44 once, not just once, but twice. And now the 44 gets off the gas and lets him have the spot right there. But look, just like you said, the angle going into the turn, not a good one. And he gets into the backside, the left rear tire of Lee Jeffries.
Yeah,
wonder if there's any damage on the left front of Jason Myers' black number 4 right there.
I can't tell with that, but what I could tell is the 44, that right front, seemed to get quite a bit of a hit just then when Lee Jeffries came down. He's going to come around the track right here, see if I see anything with my eagle eyes.
Yeah, I wonder if it knocked the toe in a little bit. It looks like it might have knocked the toe in just a little bit on the number 44. The number 4 looks clean there. Looks like there's not any damage to that car. So good news for Jason Myers as he continues his quest. Now a little bit more of a challenge, but he took the fans' challenge. Starting at the rear of the pack after qualifying in the top 4. If he finishes in the top 4, a $6,000 bonus.
It's not out of the question here. This time by will be lap 70, so we still have 30 laps to go to make it happen. We're right at that feel-good spot where they do the weekly shows, typically a 35-lap distance there. So plenty of time to make this happen. I have faith in Jason Myers, but the front of the field is a little ferocious tonight. They're battling pretty hard around that 3rd, 4th, 5th position. Of course, in those positions we have 2 of the champions, the Titans, as you like to call them, Brandon Ward, who's having a good outing, quick car tonight. And meanwhile, Chris Fleming has just been up front leading this thing like it's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, he started on the outside of the front row as the choose cone will come out. So we'll see who chooses high, if Junior Snow will choose high once again and take the risk. Who will be the brave guy that jumps to the outside right here? And Junior Snow putting it up there again. A very bold move for the sophomore sensation out of King, North Carolina.
That was surprising. Meanwhile, so here we go. We got the 2 champs lined up side by side.
Second row right now. Tim Brown and choosing the outside. Burt Myers. Here we go, Bowman Gray.
It's going to be good.
71 laps on the board, and it's going to get interesting here at the Madhouse.
You're going to be jumping in a minute. I can
think
feel
so.
it.
Chris Fleming, your leader right now as we're about to come to green. The young driver, Junior Snow, the Snowman on the outside, and the 2 Titans locked in a tie for the points lead. Line up 3rd and 4th.
Caution
False start
flag,
here.
yeah.
Yellow flag is back out. We will go and re-rack them and restack them one more time around, and we'll unleash 600 horsepowers. Modifieds times 24. Still have a lot of racing left for you. The second twin 20 for the sportsman division, and you saw a lot of fireworks in that first one, so I bet you we're going to see a lot more. And then 2 stadium stock races, so keep it tuned to Flow Racing. 72 laps on the board. The modifieds, the gloves are about to come off. Back to the green flag goes Chris Fleming. A great jump by him. Junior Snow tries to wrestle his 51 down to the bottom. He does so successfully. Now the battle is on for 3rd position. It's Tim Brown on the bottom. On the top, it's Burt Myers side by side, wheel to wheel, Nerf bar to Nerf bar coming off of turn number 4. Burt Myers gets the P3 spot, but can he hang on the outside? Making a charge off of turn number 2. Give Burt Myers the spot. He goes down. Contact between him and Tim Brown.
Wow, side by side there, contact, and that created a chain reaction all the way back into further into the field with Dan Speeney and Lee Jeffries, because it created that chain reaction, bumper to bumper to bumper, starting with Burt Myers and Tim Brown right there. So, wow, I was shocked to see Burt Myers able to come down there and capitalize and get a gap with Tim Brown. Him not happy, though, when they entered into turns 3 and 4. Clearly, I'm surprised Burt Myers was able to keep that car under control.
Second incident for the both of those drivers, Mike Speeney in the number 37 and Lee Jeffries. I think we have a replay there. That was a very interesting restart there, and how Burt Myers fought himself on the outside there. Let's take a look at the Flow Racing replay. Myers getting it right there, and he's going to try to move down to the bottom
Clear
on entry, and he lets off pretty early in the 85, gives him a shot there going into the turn. Some great racing here at Bowman Gray Stadium. That kind of caused a little bit of a backup there when the sparks flew, and I think people overreacted maybe behind them.
Interesting enough, we talk about this a lot with modifieds, but one of the mind games is the braking points and when you can use that. So as you spoke to Burt Myers braking maybe a little bit earlier, anticipating Tim to hit him, either hoping that he hits him before the entry of the corner and getting him square, or he really just wanted to upset him, which seemed a little bit more like the second option because it was so much further back into the entry of the corner. Typically, if you're going to do a square braking, that's going to happen at the center of the corner instead. So, man, this is going to get heated here. We're going to have the choose cone come back out. We'll see kind of what they decide and what track position is going to be determined. We have 77 laps in the books. Man, things are getting dicey.
100 laps tonight for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Divisions, and what I love about this right now is the choose cone restarts. Double file, make you smile, as my friend Ben Dodge used to say, the great announcer in the Northeast for Thompson Speedway, Riverside Park, and Stafford Motor Speedway, which is a track you can see each and every week on Flow Racing. You know, hey, I'm going to say it because I work for Flow Racing also full-time in the film and documentaries department, but NASCAR Weekly Racing Series on Flow. You got to watch it, you know, from Hickory to, you know, there's so many darn tracks. It's ridiculous. Utica Rome was on last night.
We have 15 tracks that are streamed weekly, not including all the Crown Jewel events.
Yes.
That are tracks that aren't streamed every
South
single
Boston
week.
last week.
We also have the Modified Division, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Divisions, ARCA East, ARCA West, ARCA Main, replays on a lot of that. And we have Summer Shootout currently, Legend Cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So quite the package of asphalt short track racing. And here we are, choose cone. Oh, Junior Snow going to go to the outside again. Smart move, I think, though, by Burt Myers. Going to stay to that inside lane. And Brandon Ward choosing the outside. Going to round out that top front rows there. And, man, Tim Brown, he's going to stay the inside, too, although it's going to put him in 5th.
I'll tell you what, the driver of that number 51 is getting a lot of confidence. That car has woken up the last few weeks, and you've seen that number 51 up front, and you're seeing it right now. Leading Nerf bar to Nerf bar against the number 16. Big contact there. Give the 16 the spot. Fleming to the lead. Wow. Brandon Ward from out of nowhere now shoots into P2. The Snow Machine files down to the inside. Finally, a really rough restart for that young driver.
Burt Myers looking to come that inside lane, but almost anticipating the hit from behind. Doesn't commit to that. Caution flag's going to come out this time, and it looks to me who
like
is involved there. Debris.
I believe so. I don't see anybody
Randy
spun on the
Butner
racetrack.
seems stopped though at one point.
Okay. Well, that was an interesting restart. I was just talking about the confidence of the young driver in the number 51 car, and he couldn't get to the bottom right there. Well, he was trying to, but he and the 16 were Nerf bar to Nerf bar pressing into each other on that restart. That was one of the most interesting restarts of the night so far because he was pressing down on the 16 very aggressively there.
Trying to crowd him there. And hats off to Chris Fleming, who has perfectly executed restart after restart after restart throughout the entire night. Flow Racing replay here.
This is going to be an interesting replay to watch here because what I want to look at is it's hard to fire from the outside. The 16 fires first, but if you watch the 51, who's probably sick and tired of being moved up a little bit coming out of the turn, Now look at him. He drives down into the 16. He's trying to get that spot. No harm, no foul. The 16 didn't do anything wrong there, and Junior kind of ended up, screwing up himself a little bit there, and he loses one spot to Brandon Ward, but you got to give him credit for trying right there. The lights are out on the pace car, and we are about to go green here in the north turn. Little cat and mouse game between the two leaders as Snow chooses the outside again. You've seen a few restarts where it looks like when the 16 fires, he kind of moves up. Naturally that right rear is going to spin a little bit and making contact with the 51 on the outside. And that's a little gamesmanship between a veteran race car driver, a very smart one on the inside, and a young, very passionate race car driver on the outside who's quickly becoming a superstar of the Madhouse. Green flag is back out.
That was a good side-by-side restart there. Oh, Junior Snow's going to try to make his way down, but here comes Brandon Ward. He's not going to have it. We're going to head into turns 3 and 4. Side-by-side now with Burt Myers with that Q104.1. Tim Brown now sitting in 5th. Going to watch this, 5th. Going to watch this all go down for that 3rd, 4th place position battle.
Tim Brown watching this with a big smile on his face, sitting in the 4th position because right in front of him, side-by-side, is Myers and Ward. Wow, Burt Myers from the outside, give him P3 around Ward on the outside. Now he works to the back bumper of Junior Snow's number 51, and back bumper he is. He gives him a shot in the north turn. Chris Fleming is loving seeing this in his rearview mirror, and now the Snowman has to hold off the charge of Burt Myers. The ace is behind him. 51-1, P2, P3 at the Madhouse. 89 laps on the board. 11 laps to go in this 100-lap modified affair.
Burt Myers all over the back bumper of Snowman here. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him off. Burt looks like he's on a mission, hitting him after every single corner, not even hitting him really square there. He's just trying to capitalize. We only have 9 laps to go this time by.
I'll tell you what, Junior Snow, young race car driver, playing great defense there in that unit's machine. And, it's hard to defend it when you get a shot at a certain point in the corner. But he is trying to make sure he gets hit square in the corners right there. But Burt Myers is working that bumper, working the back bumper of the number 51. This is the big battle on the track right now. Can Burt Myers get by the 51 and have clear sailing to catch the leader, Chris Fleming?
If he could get this worked out and a little bit of chaos happens with only a handful of laps left, Jason Myers is currently sitting in 7th place position, going for that fans challenge as well. So we have brother and brother all underneath that blanket. You can throw it over from 2nd to 7th right there.
The outside line has not worked at all tonight for many drivers. Burt Myers, one of the few to make it happen tonight, but right now he's trying to work his way around the bottom and work his way around the 51, but no can do. It's like Baltic and Monopoly. He's protecting that thing at all costs, protecting that low line, tucked down against the concrete and the little turtles down there, the little speed bumps with 4 laps to go. That still is the battle on the track right now because Chris Fleming has checked out. All eyes. Nobody's looking at the leader right now. Everybody's looking at this battle for second.
Burt Myers is doing all he can to try to move Junior Snow out of the way, and he's unable to do so. Brandon Ward also getting a little bit frustrated in the seat, hoping that he can move that 2nd place out of the way. But Junior Snow's going to hold on for all he can. We only have 3 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Chris Fleming in the lead, but this is the battle on the track. Can the veteran make the 51? The Snowman drive it a little harder in the corners. He does not that time around. Great driving by the driver of that number 51. He won last week. Can he come home with a 2nd place finish the very next week? White flag is out. Coming around the north turn right now is the driver of the number 16. The modified 100 winner is Chris Fleming.
Chris Fleming, great drive by him all night. Had a dominating car and executed perfectly with strategy on the restarts and able to even pull away there at the end. Chris Fleming going to be your winner, followed by the 91 of Junior Snow, Then we have the number 1, Burt Myers, and to round it out of the top 4, it'll be the 04 of Brandon Ward, as Chris Flemings will take his victory lane parade lap in this 100-lap modified feature event today.
Chris Fleming right there with the checkered flag. And okay. You know, we were talking about numbers before, right? Curtis Turner winning the first ever track record here at Bowman Gray in the number 16 Bill Snowden machine. And tonight, winning the pole was the number 16 machine that you're seeing right there of Chris Fleming. Well, the number 16 now takes his 16th career modified feature event win.
It must just be the lucky number tonight.
Yes, I
that
think
all
so.
irons out like
The
that.
showstopper just did it, man. The showstopper took it from the point, and he didn't let anything bother him tonight. Nothing, no contact, no challenges from the outside on the restart, and he drove damn near a perfect race tonight. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam in victory lane with the showstopper, tonight's big winner of the Modified 100. It's Chris Fleming.
Sweat pouring from his eyebrow. Coming up next, 20 laps for the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsman Series. Pouring the cold bottle of water down the back.